and welcome to Finextra. I'm Emily Haller at Cybos 2015 and I'm here with George Evers of VocaLink. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Emily.
So VocaLink has produced a paper on instant payments in Europe. What are the key characteristics of an ideal payment solution?
So I think first of all to build on the work they've already done with SEPA, building out on the ISO standards and making sure that they keep that unity of standards to enable kind of ease of use, building out on what they've already put there. The second one is to ensure that the system is available as widely as possible and access to that system is unconstrained. So again, allowing ubiquity of access to the payments infrastructure either at a national level or on a pan-European level. And clearly other characteristics around instant payments in terms of the availability of funds, the immediacy and speed of the payment, and also the system being available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at all times.
The introduction of instant payments is a major milestone on the road to an integrated SEPA. What other development options are there?
So I think what we're seeing are a couple of approaches within Europe. We clearly see a pan-European approach with the EBA RFP coming out quite recently, so looking to take and provide infrastructure that can be accessed, allowing both cross-border but also a single service to be accessed from any part of Europe. But also we're seeing a lot of activity at a national level where we see, I think, solutions emerge at a national level that support that national community, but also will importantly integrate with other service providers in time. So I think we'll see a mix of those solutions in Europe. Again, common characteristics will be the ones I talked about earlier, the need to collaborate around ISO standards, and the need to think about interoperability will be important as well with those two solutions. Perhaps in 10-15 years' time we might see consolidation to fewer service providers, but I'm not sure that Europe's ready for that yet.
So what do you think, competition or collaboration?
I think with payments early stages, I think collaboration is really important. Inclusion of as wide a group of stakeholders as you can, and what the solution should be, what problems it should be solving. We're seeing a lot of work and collaborative work around the harmonisation on the use of the ISO standard, ISO 20022 standards, and I think that's going to be really important. That's actually happening on a global basis, and I think that will help when we look at interoperability across instant payment systems around the world. And that collaboration should extend to building that core capability and providing access to it. And at that point, I think competition should start. So the competition really emerges when you have widespread access to the payments infrastructure. So that's the banks, payment services providers, and the wider community. You don't create barriers to access and entry to that system. And then competition emerges in terms of the customer propositions that are built from those. There are probably some few customer propositions where cooperation is important. So things like P2P payments, having a single directory that's operated at a central level is an ideal way to bring across a large population of individuals onto that infrastructure, but then competing to deliver services on top of that is very important. So I think there's room for both, but collaboration is important when you're building the infrastructure to start with.
We've spoken about Europe. What about the rest of the world?
So I think there's no doubt now in anyone's mind that instant payments or real-time payments is a global wave. So we're seeing a lot of activity. Certainly when we implemented the Singapore fast system 18 months ago, we couldn't have hoped for greater take-up and greater growth than that, and they are now thinking about the next phase of their development. And also we recently signed an agreement with ITMX, National ITMX in Thailand, to start a study to deliver a mobile payment system in Thailand built on immediate payment rails as well. So those are a couple of areas that we're directly involved in, but we're seeing a global trend and a global move towards instant payments, and very excited about that.
That's great, George. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emily.
And thank you for watching.